Welcome to Spotlight New England. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey McClelland.
And I'm Ashley Erling, coming off of a gorgeous weekend weather-wise. You know, the weather outside today, Audrey, is not amazing. However, look at these surfers.
I was going to say, it doesn't stop these
For
surfers.
surfers, it's great.
They get right in that water and go.
Yep.
There's a lot of them in there today.
Heard, I think it was, I can't now remember if it was TJ or Katie McNeil, our meteorologist today, talking about how there were a lot of surfers out.
Yeah, that's so cool.
This is good surfing weather.
Yeah, you can even see like the waves like really breaking much harder than they usually do.
There's a lot of them. And when we talk a lot about how like on the road show it looks one way.
Yeah.
When we look at the camera in the morning, no one was out there. Now you look at it this afternoon and
it is pretty.
Listen, there's people out there.
Right. This is like peak time, I guess, for surfing.
It's summer in Rhode Island.
Enjoy it now.
You have to take advantage of every second we have.
So true.
You know, it's fleeting, but
it is fleeting.
Here.
It is fleeting.
Speaking of, I did something that I have been saying I wanted to do for a long time.
Yep.
Which I'm really excited about. I told you last week I was going to take it's called Come Clam With Me class.
Right.
Okay. So this is through the DEM.
Okay.
And I love that they do that. I love that they do it, Audrey. I don't know how frequently it is. Here's a little video.
Yep.
Again, like a fool, I took vertical video because I was just, you know, in the moment I forgot to take horizontal. Anyway, they do this whole setup. This was down at a beach in like the Rocky Point area.
Okay.
That is Jody King. And he is a legendary co-hogger here
okay.
in Rhode Island. He is like the top co-hogger. So we went out into the water. I don't have video of us in the water because we had to leave our phones up because we went up to like our midsection, and I actually ended up going up to almost like my shoulders. So I got a few. I went home. I put them in the sauce.
Yup.
I watched them pop open, and I made linguine with clam sauce.
Magic. Was it good?
It was magic. It was magic. It actually came out great. So here's the thing. That was one of my biggest ones.
Yeah, it's a big one.
When we went out there, this is what I'll tell you. It's not hard to do.
Okay.
What it is, though, is like you have to like be patient.
Yeah.
Which is not one of my greatest
skills. You said you're out there for like a few hours, right?
So the class itself was about 3 hours long.
Okay.
It starts with an intro. Jody talks about himself a bit too, which is really nice. You get to hear a little bit about his history and how he ended up becoming one of the most well-known co-hoggers and clammers in the state of Rhode Island.
Wow.
And he teaches the class. So after we learn a little bit, he does like a demo on, land, and then we all walked into the water.
Yeah.
We went at low tide, low-ish tide, which is when you should go. That's really the best time.
A lot of people in the class?
Tons of people.
Okay.
I want to say they do a few every summer.
Okay.
So it's not like a weekly thing. So this was a full class.
So people come. It looked
there were probably a couple dozen, I would say, people. There, they did this whole little setup. We walked right in. They gave us the rakes.
Yeah.
And really all you have to do is rake through the sand. But it's more effort than it looks like.
Okay.
First of all, I'm still sore. This is now days later. Yes, and you have to like drag it through. And so I thought it'd be easier because I did the demo on the road show.
Right.
And I was like, we were in rocks because we had gear on, so we couldn't get out.
And you said that was kind of tough.
It was tough because the rocks were there.
Yes.
But I thought once you got out to like sand, so now I was fully in.
Right, you'd be a little bit more.
It was not easier. It was still hard because really what you want is somewhere that's a little bit rocky because they kind of hide under the rocks.
Tell me this, once you get the rake in and you do take some up, where do you come out with buckets?
So we should have, but they actually that day kind of like forgot to bring the bucket. So they were like, just if you get clams, just put them in your pocket. Literally.
Oh my God.
Put them in your pockets.
Yeah.
They're like, stuff your pockets. Here's me, by the way, thinking I'm going to show up and get like 24 clams.
Yeah.
We're all going to eat like kings. This was a humbling experience. It was a good experience, but it was a humbling experience. So after maybe 30 minutes out there, I still had nothing.
Wow,
Nothing. Okay.
Did other people have things?
Here and there, every once in a while you heard somebody go, I got one.
Okay.
I got one, but it wasn't people like, oh my God, look at this bounty. So finally, I pull a rake up, and you have to, a lot of times you're just pulling up rocks. So you have to kind of like sift through the sand. And I was like, oh, I got one. I was so excited. So after that, I still didn't get one for like another almost 20 minutes.
But you stuck with it?
But I stuck with it, and I ended up getting, I think, 8. And one time there was 2 in 1 basket. That was a really big deal.
Oh, that's a big deal. Double the fun.
Yeah. So I think that once you kind of get the hang of it, I am not all that strong, and it does take a little bit of effort. It's not that, like, anyone can do it, but if you're somewhere where it's rocky, you do have to kind of
make sure you're okay
and pull through.
I'm so glad that you tried it. That's great.
But we went, and so after we all went and collected our clams, which, by the way, clams and quahogs are they're the same thing. So I'll have Jody in some other time and explain it all to you. But we went back up to the shore, and they shucked some of them fresh out of the ocean right there. I think they were the little necks that we had
like Rhode Island
right there, right out of the ocean.
Wow, so super fresh.
Super fresh. And then I brought mine home, and knowing that I probably wouldn't have gotten that many, I did preemptively buy chopped clams to make the sauce.
Just to make sure you could have sauce.
Make the sauce. So the ones that I got were just an addition to that.
Well, it looked delicious.
It came out great. My husband said it was delicious. I was very proud of myself. I caught it. I cooked it.
Right.
And it was something I've been wanting to do because, like, here in Rhode Island, as a Rhode Islander, if you're a resident of Rhode Island, you can go out every day and get a certain amount. It's like a basket full. There's a certain amount. You can get them every day.
Yeah,
if you wanted
it really
to.
is incredible.
So I just felt like living by the water and everything. I wanted that skill.
Yeah.
So I want to go buy a basket now.
And you
like
did
I was
it.
saying, I think that I would do
very
it again. And I want to teach my husband to do it because he's stronger than me. And I feel like
See,
he would
you get a good
actually,
bounty. Get a good bounty.
I feel like he would be able to get a lot more than me.
Well, it's true Rhode Island thing to do.
That's it.
Before the end of the summer, which is great.
Yep.
And it is almost the end of the summer, so we're so excited for our next guest because we're talking back to school already, believe it or not. But stick around. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Welcome back to Spotlight New England. So the back to school time is upon us, and I know a lot of parents out there, it's on our minds, just getting the kids back into routines and getting ourselves ready. We're so excited to have our next guest with us this morning. We have Dr. Meghan Garcia-Webb. Now, you are pretty impressive. You are a triple board certified in internal medicine, lifestyle medicine, and obesity medicine. And I know that, one thing that I know I'm thinking about right now is really just getting myself into some healthy habits for back to school. So excited that you're here to talk more with us today about that. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk about it.
Absolutely. So let's kind of like dive right in. I know that you said you're a mom yourself. You have 2 children. When do you start to get yourself into that mindset? Okay, listen, it is back to school time, and really things now need to change from the summer.
Right. Yeah, that comes up for so many people this time of the year. And I think the more you have a system in place, the less the shift is, the less harsh it is when you get back into the swing of things. So for me, I feel like I have everything pretty dialed in. So it's just a couple little things I have to do, but it's not like, oh my gosh, a big recalculation of everything.
It really is a lot. And so what, to be honest with you, because I always am curious about this, what made you want to go into medicine in the first place?
Oh my gosh, that's a great story. Well, actually, I worked in fashion journalism originally, right?
Meghan.
Which was so fun. But then I was like, I think this is a better hobby than actually like a career. And I just really wanted to, like, when I talked to people and I asked them how they were doing, like, I really wanted to know, like, how are you doing? And I was like, what is the opposite of what I'm doing now? And I worked with great people in fashion, but I just knew it wasn't my thing.
Right.
So I decided to go into medicine. I was like, that's pretty fundamental to people's, everyday health. And so I went to medical school. I did primary care for several years, and then that brought me to obesity medicine, because when you fix somebody's weight, you just fix so many problems. So it's just such an efficient way of treating somebody.
Tell us more about what your focus is and kind of what that umbrella encapsulates and what you really work with on like a day-to-day basis.
Yes, so I work with people at any weight who have problems with food, who have problems with exercising, like really helping people like get themselves to do what they say they want to do. Because the problem really in today's age is not having enough information. We have all the information. We have everything we need. We can ask ChatGPT to make us lists upon lists upon lists, but it's really about how do you get yourself to do what you say you actually want to do. So that's primarily what I work with people on, like, why aren't you able to eat how you want to eat? Do you even know how you want to eat? How can we remove like the constant stress narrative from your brain so you can actually get yourself to the gym? Like, these are the real things that people are struggling with.
Yeah, they definitely are. I think on a day-to-day basis, we know like, it's so busy.
And especially too, just creating the healthy tips at home. I know that like my husband has struggled with his weight throughout really, the years. And for us in particular, it was always important for us to teach our children at a very early age, really like healthy eating habits and being able to stay, and it was never about a perfect number on the scale. It was really feeling healthy for their bodies. So why is that? Is that important for you too when you're dealing even with adults? Is like making sure that these tips, this advice that you're giving them does translate to their family?
Oh, absolutely. Because the important thing is that you like what you're doing so you can keep doing it. And so you can show your children how to live. That's the important thing is, do you like how you're living now? Because what actually the research shows is that there's no one diet that works better than any other diet. And in fact, diets are like terrible and we shouldn't do them anyway. But it's really what you can stick with. And you're not going to stick with something unless you really like it. And so that's what I really try to focus on with people. It's not so much like, yes, like scales and numbers are important, but the really important thing is like, how do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Do you like this routine? Do you like how you're living? Because otherwise it's not going to work.
Let's talk about how people can start to assess that for themselves. Like, again, this is a great time of year to do it. You're kind of resetting as a family, which we love. Maybe you kind of just did whatever you wanted all summer because things started to get lax and you were going out, to get your ice cream every night. And that maybe isn't the best thing to do year round. So if you feel like you're a little out of whack as a family, where do you start to say, or what are some tips that families can do right now to kind of now either make a checklist or start to assess where they're at?
Yeah, I would say like getting the data on yourself is so helpful because oftentimes we have this sense of like something's not quite right, but I'm not sure what it is. So you really want to force your brain to be like, okay, what exactly is not right? Is it, I feel like my eating is chaotic? Do I feel like I'm eating too much? Am I not having enough fruits and vegetables? Like, what is the real problem?
Right.
Instead of this kind of vague unease that we can all feel from time to time. One of the most important things I think for people, especially for families, is like having a cooking schedule and just figuring out how many days a week do you want to cook? Like, are you going to be doing all the cooking? Is your spouse going to be doing all the cooking? Like, how's that going to work? And just like get that in place. Like, I'll tell you what I do. So I am the
Tell
chef.
us, please.
I'm the chef in my house. My husband is Australian. He would eat tuna from a can. Like, he doesn't care. So I'm like, I think this will be my domain.
You're like, I guess I'll just go ahead and take charge of this.
I'll do this for us.
I'll do it.
So I cook on Sundays and I cook on Thursdays. And I like to cook, but I don't want to do it every day.
Yeah.
So Sundays are my slow cooker day. I just put everything in the slow cooker. I leave it for 8 hours and I come back and it's great. I like leftovers. Anybody who doesn't like leftovers can, I don't know, find something else to eat, but we all like leftovers, so that's fine. So that gets us through Wednesday, and then Thursday is my kind of more experimental day. So if I want to try something new, if I want to make something that I've made a couple times, like I'll experiment a little, and that will get us through Saturday, and then it's time to slow cook again.
Slow cook. And the great thing too, like I love during the school year is having a schedule. So like to your point, to build it in, whether like a Sunday or a Thursday work best for you or not, just to get yourself and your family, because I always think to myself too, then there's like no question. Like the kids don't come home on Tuesday and go, well, what are we doing for dinner? Well, you know what we're doing. Right. Because we have the same schedule every week. Yeah. And I just feel like it's always like, what they say, like when your house is chaotic, it breeds stress. Like when you have that, like, that less chaos in your house. And I feel like the food thing is such a big deal for families. Right. From like after school activities to like, practices run so late now for some kids. So you do have to kind of keep yourself kind of on track. Right. Yeah. And thinking about like how you want it to go. Like, do you want to be eating in the car? Probably not. Right. So really trying to think ahead of time, like, okay, I don't want to be eating the car, so what can I do? What's the system I can put in place? And I really try to make it easy because the last thing people need is like one more thing to do. Right. So yes, you do have to think about it, but once you have it up and running, it's so easy.
You mentioned using AI. Yes. Tell us more about maybe how people can do that, because this is something that's new to a lot of us. And, we're used to going to Google and saying, what can I make for dinner tonight? Yeah. But now you kind of get a little bit more robust of an answer. How are you using, or how would you maybe suggest to start using AI to help you to take the stress away?
Yeah, so I think like the robots can help us in so many ways. Yeah. So one of the ways is people are very obsessed with protein these days, and they don't always recognize that there are many different types of protein. So, and I always like it when people embrace plant-based protein because it's not going to really affect your cholesterol. We don't want you eating all the protein and then you have to start a statin medication because now you have another problem, right? So it's like, ChatGPT, can you give me 10 sources of plant-based protein? Can you give me like how many grams are in a cup? You know, I don't want to cook. What are some no-cook methods that I could use? Like all these things that you could think about to make it easier for you. So I think protein sources, serving sizes, that's really helpful. Also, a lot of people don't like to cook, so you can ask ChatGPT or whatever your AI of choice is, you know, can you give me 10, you know, 5-ingredient meals where there's minimal to no cooking, and just list out all the ingredients, and it'll do it. And then if you don't like it, you just tell it to do it again.
Do it again.
In a different way, right?
That's actually amazing. A great, easy way to do it.
I really didn't think about that. I really didn't think about that too much, especially because it's new for a lot of us.
Yeah.
So like you're used to doing things however you did them, and you don't always think like, oh, I can like actually like save my brain power for this. 'Cause it's not important that like I creatively come up with a dinner. You know, there's no asset that I need to provide here other than to just make sure we're fed. So like, why not use something that could help just make it less stressful, I guess.
Right. Or like everybody in my house likes chicken. So what are all the, you know, how can I prepare chicken 5 different ways?
This is great because everyone loves chicken in our house. That's actually a great point because usually I'm just like, even my husband, like, he's the cook.
Yeah.
And we're doing baked chicken again.
Yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes it is good to just kind of like, you know, mix it up a little bit rather than just
But
like
you can't always
lemon
think
and
of it on your own when you're so tired and running around. And like you said, to the different practices, or, you know, somebody started a new something and you are out of your schedule. It's like, yeah, we're having baked chicken again.
Because as a doctor, do you find it, you know, especially too for families, is it the best to eat dinner at a particular time, same time every night? I mean, I know that sometimes we have to eat at like 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and I'm always worried, oh my God, like the kids are going to go to bed with like a full stomach. Is this healthy? Is this a bad thing that I'm doing? Like, you know, just like with your... What do you think in terms of like, as like a doctor, what do you suggest to families?
I mean, I think having dinner together is so important. So maybe it's 7:30 some nights, maybe it's 6 o'clock other nights. I think being flexible is okay.
Right.
I also think like everybody in Spain eats so late and they're so much healthier than us. So it can't be that bad for you. So I think if you're all having dinner and it's 8:30, you know, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world, but you are with your kids, you are teaching them how to enjoy the food, how to slow down.
Yeah.
That's so important. Everybody is multitasking through breakfast and lunch, and the more we can show our kids, like, no, mealtime is a special occasion that needs to be protected, and it's a nice time to talk and enjoy each other's company. That's super important.
I do remember growing up, my mom, like, because she's like growing up, you know, with her schedules, like everybody was either watching TV or doing this. And for us, it was always, no, around the table, TV off. You know, we didn't have to worry about the cell phones when we were kids, you know, being in the, but like for us too, it's like cell phones down, nothing at the table. Let's just engage.
Let's have a meal together.
Let's eat together. And before I let you go too, you know, just like the obesity piece of, it's in the news everywhere right now, obviously, with like, you know, the GLP-1s and all that you can do. But what are some things that people should be on the lookout for, just in terms of not only just like the number on the scale, but like, are they tired, irritable, like just some signs of obesity that, you know, are things that you should be looking out for yourself that could be triggers? Yeah.
So I think like making sure that you're stopping when you're satisfied as opposed to full, or that you're distracted when you're eating, that is a big way to check in with yourself and see, this is an easy thing to fix. I say easy, but everybody, when I tell them to stop doing things while they're eating, they're like, this is terrible and boring. And I'm like, I know, but you're going to get used to it and then it'll be nice.
It'll be nice.
But yeah, so checking in terms of how are you actually experiencing a meal is something that we don't think about. That is not our culture. Our culture is like, do 5 different things, right? And so are you sitting down? Did you give yourself more than 5 minutes? You know, that's really important. Are you doing 5 different things? Maybe like put everything else away. Did you go outside today, right? Are you getting up? Are you not being sedentary? Other things like, you know, are you sleeping 7 hours a night? You know, 6 to 8 hours a night is great. Are you getting some sort of strength training? Like these are, you don't have to do them all at once. And I think sometimes that can be a little overwhelming for people, but just start with, pick one, you know, and try to get that where you want it to be, and then pick another and go from there.
All good tips. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having
Such
me.
an important topic, and I know so many of us are just in that back to school mind.
Yeah.
It's just like good to kind of clock yourself and reset too.
Yeah.
So it's perfect opportunity.
It's
Thanks for
time
being
to
with
check in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And stick around. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back to Spotlight New England. Something we always love to do is just talk about these places around us that we can take advantage of,
Yeah.
especially if they're free. Okay, so I don't know if you've been here or not. I didn't even tell you I was going to mention this, but I've been here a couple of times. This is a hidden gem.
Okay.
Truly, I feel it's a hidden gem. I didn't know about it until a couple years ago in North Kingstown, and it's like, I think it's technically either part of Wickford or right over the little Wickford area.
Okay.
It's a lotus pond.
No,
Have
I've
you
never been
ever
there. No.
been? Okay. This is literally the most random place. It is on
very cool.
It's the side of the road.
Yep.
It's in front of a condo complex that I believe the condo complex maintains this. And it is this gorgeous lotus pond. The video does not do it justice.
They're gigantic.
They're huge. They look like something out of a movie.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And also from another country. These are typically in like Asia and
Yeah,
India.
I was just going to say that, right?
And it's just this random lotus pond in North Kingstown that is on the side of the road. It is there every summer.
So how did you find this?
I heard about this a couple years ago from like one of my mom's friends.
Okay.
They were like, oh, you know, that lotus pond in North Kingstown. I was like, I literally have no idea what you're talking about. It's on
They're
the side of
beautiful.
a main road.
Yeah.
It's not hard to find. It's just like, unless you know it's there, you
would
almost,
never
like,
even think about it.
You don't even notice it, and you just drive by it. So this weekend, we decided to just like hop in the car and drive around a little
Yeah.
bit and just like, you know, go to the coastline and whatever. So this is kind of like, if you were going from Wickford to like Narragansett, it's kind of along that road.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, I know
Um,
exactly what you mean.
And
I'll have to look for that.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, those are beautiful. I've never
Isn't
heard of
it
this
insane?
ever. I never even heard of it. Never
And you
mind
just
seeing
pull
it.
over on the side of the road and you take a look, and then you
Very
continue,
cool.
continue on with your day.
There are there are a lot of hidden gems around the state. It's
There
just a matter
are.
of finding them and knowing where
There
they
are
are.
so many. This is near to help the Rhode Island directions. It's near like the Plum Point Bistro area. If you know where that restaurant is, it's over in that kind of general vicinity.
So what do you do? Just pull your car off the road?
That's it.
That's
You literally
it.
just- we weren't actually going to look at this. We were going. I don't remember where we were going, but we were going somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, hey, like, do you know where that lotus pond is?" To my husband.
Did he?
He had no clue what I was
Yeah.
talking about. I was like, lotus pond, lotus pond. He's like, I don't even know what you're saying.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
it was such a like weird
My
concept.
husband would love that.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I think we're on the road. I was like, I'll just yell out if I see it.
Right. And
So
then
it
you
was
did.
literally what we did. I was like, it's right there. And he literally like,
Turn
like,
around.
Yeah.
Right the
like
car.
pulled in and there's just like this little like dirt pull off right in front of it.
That's perfect.
And you just go and look at it for a few minutes. Like the other people were doing the same exact thing that we did. They just were like, oh my God, and like pulled off and like you look at it for a few minutes, you're like, this is insane.
This
they
is
have
it.
a little plaque next to it. I should have taken a picture of the plaque that talks about
Oh, so it's legit.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Not even
That's
just like
it.
it's like a tourist spot.
It is kind of like a tourist spot.
Oh, that's cool. I will tell
It
Matt
is the
because he
most-
would love something like
It
that.
is the most random hidden gem. So like I love to do stuff like that and tie it into like usually a meal.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, we're
gotta
gonna go
eat.
out and have like lunch or dinner.
You gotta
We'll
eat.
Stop at the Lotus Pond on the way. It's on the left. It is so random, but I'm telling you, if you go, you'll tell everyone about it because
That's
when
cool.
you see it in person, it looks like something out of like a Willy Wonka movie.
No,
like,
that is very
a Tim
cool.
Burton movie. They're like so big.
Very
and random.
cool.
Like they're not supposed to be growing here.
Not here.
So random.
I love it. I'm gonna tell Matt.
So Hidden Gem North Kingstown, just Google it. Like there's no website. Just you'll find it.
Just a website.
There's no website. Thank you for joining us today on Spotlight New England. We'll see you next time.